And Anne-Marie Burke is here now with our very first look at sports. And Anne-Marie, the entertainment is coming back to BSAC.
Oh, yes, it is, Lisa, as the drums and the stars are actually back when the 2019 edition of the Barbados Secondary Schools Track and Field Championship gets going tomorrow at the National Stadium. The spectators will be back in the stands rather than being on the cycle track, and there will be music to revive that preferred atmosphere of school sports past. Now, there is expected to be a seating capacity of about 600 persons in the 4 regular stands, 300 in the VIP stand. Those attending will be housed in the first 5 tiers from the bottom. 2 stands will be allocated to students, while the spectators will occupy the other 3. From the musical end, things will be done a little differently, as students from various schools will be drawn into one band to be called the official musicians.
There definitely will be a limit. It is going to be very organized. We are using students from all of the schools that wish to participate, but they will be under the direction of Captain Len Cummins from the Princess Margaret School. He's also the conductor of the cadet band, and he will be responsible for those students. They're going to move from stand to stand, and they will be outfitted so that you will recognize them with the generous sponsorship from Powerade. They will have specific shirts that will identify them as the official musicians.
Now, Powerade has once again assumed the role of title sponsor, along with 2 other major sponsors in SOL and ICBL. They've all pledged support based on promoting the development of the island's young athletes.
We've been involved for many, many years, first under the Coca-Cola brand, and then we migrated to Powerade. And it's heartening to see how the sponsorship partnerships have grown. And we really recognize that even though we're the title sponsors, that there's a role for so many more companies to get involved as we create a platform for young people to really excel. And it's heartening to see so many of you here, and we look forward to having a great partnership with you as well as to continue our partnership with BSAC. This year already we've seen some exciting activity as the Powerade School Series was ongoing, and we anticipate that the zone finals and the finals will be just as equally exciting.
From inception, SOL has been passionate about developing our youth, particularly through sport. We see this partnership with BSAC as an opportunity not only to give back, but to participate in this annual local display of school pride and athletic excellence in a meaningful way.
ICBL is aware that BSAC is the genesis of all successful athletes who go on to represent Barbados at major regional and international meets. ICBL is cognizant of the fact that the children are our future, and we are indeed honored to support this venture, where young people are afforded an opportunity to showcase their talents. We are firm believers that sportsmanship encourages the development of good character, as it calls for patience, commitment, and indeed fair play. Now, ICBL has always been there for our customers when they needed us most, and we intend to do the same for our nation's children as well.
Well, in addition, BSAC has also drawn tremendous support from other corporate partners, with Wabisco providing breakfast for the athletes and BIMA offering media training, along with other tangible and financial support from the various sponsors. Now, the 2019 BSAC Championships, they start tomorrow with the Frank Blackman Zone at the National Stadium from 9 a.m. To cricket now, the experiment is over, but did the Windies learn or benefit from it? Well, the Windies were nowhere close to being competitive in the just concluded T20 series against England. CBC's Damien Best has his say on the England 3-0 whitewash.
A 3-0 clean sweep at the hands of England in the T20 series left more questions than answers as the Windies prepare for the upcoming ICC World Cup starting in May. CWI selection panel, the head coach Richard Pybus and skipper Jason Holder felt in their wisdom that utilizing the services of the one-day players would, in T20 scenarios, help improve their skill set, whether it be their death bowling or big hitting in pressure situations. Now, the problem is that the Windies failed to show any of their abilities in those 2 areas, falling to 2 of their heaviest defeats in their T20 history. Bowled up for 45 and 71 within 48 hours is poor, to say the least, and disheartening to the fans who turned up in their numbers to support the regional side in St. Kitts for the second and third matches. The fielding effort in the first game in St. Lucia let down the efforts of young Nicholas Pooran, who was the only West Indies bat to partially fire in the series, if you go by the numbers. Chris Gayle said at the end of the ODI series that his dominance in T20 cricket was diminishing and he was hoping to correct it sooner rather than later. Well, his rough patch continues with scores of 15 and 5 in the opening 2 games. Let's face it, once he was dismissed cheaply, the West Indies would struggle to stay aggressive against experienced bowlers in that format. The argument will also be that most of the regular T20 batsmen are injured or just not applicable in this push for World Cup readiness. That's fair enough. No Evan Lewis, Rovman Powell, etc. What's worrying though is the lack of consistency in the Windies bowling. The lines and lengths were not to script and left interim captain Jason Holder, who himself got some stick, unable to find solutions. To have England 34 for 4 in the second match, then allow them to escape the hammer and pile up 182 for 6 is disappointing. Looking further down the road, Andre Russell's sudden withdrawal from the series with a reoccurrence of his lingering knee problem may be a sign that time is running out on his race to be fully fit for the World Cup. To conclude from the home series against England that West Indies cricket has turned the corner is far from the truth. But what can be said overall is that they proved the pundits wrong for most of this series. The West Indies are on the move in the right direction, and over time can only get better. Damien Best, CBC Sports.